most of my life, I've been a people pleaser, and in today's video, I want to show you guys how to stop being a people pleaser because at some point it's going to become toxic. So what literally isn't talked about enough is the fact that people pleasers are pouring their energy into everybody else, and because of this they aren't able to pour their energy into themselves and spend time with themselves. As someone that as a child I used to be a huge people pleaser, and whenever someone felt sad or I would just feel like something was off, I would constantly be like, what's wrong, are you okay? And they would vent and dump all their feelings on me, which at the time I had no idea it wasn't healthy, because I didn't realize the feelings of those people were negatively impacting me. Now, I'm not saying a friend can't vent to you every once in a while, but at some point people get used to being able to vent to you and you become like a machine that they just come up to and be like, they dump all their problems on you. And this is basically you just being used by someone, and I don't like being used by anyone. It took me a really long time, but for half my life I've been a people pleaser, and once I was finally able to step out of that vicious cycle, it just helped me a lot. I started getting more healthy and I started being happier, because the more time I spent with myself and the less time people vented to me, the happier I was. And I found that really hard to realize for a long time. And at first I was like, oh my goodness, people aren't pouring their problems into me anymore. So the first thing I did to stop becoming a people pleaser is I blocked and I got rid of all the contact possible with the people that are dumping all their problems on me. So this is hard for someone that is, for example, maybe your work colleague or your schoolmate is dumping those problems onto you, but you need to tell them face to face. You have to eventually say, I don't like this because you keep dumping all your problems on me and it's affecting my mental health. And it's okay to say that. It might sound very embarrassing and it might take time for you to realize that, but you cannot be a people pleaser in the very long run, because it is literally going to destroy your mental health. Everybody constantly thinks that being a people pleaser is perfect in this generation. Some people are proud of it. I remember being proud of being extremely emotional and a people pleaser. I'm not saying emotions are wrong, because emotions are really important, because you need if you're a human being, you need emotions. But people don't realize that you have to master the art of detachment from other people, and you need to start feeling good emotions because you can choose to feel those good emotions. People pleasing is really common amongst a lot of people nowadays and has been normalized. And I hate this because it is not a healthy thing, and people are starting to think that it's something I should constantly be doing. It's like people are starting to people please so often it's becoming overwhelming for them. I used to do this for a very long time. Friends used to dump their problems on me. I used to be like, it's okay, it's okay. But the funny thing is I have basically never dumped my problems onto them. I was always the listener in all of my friend groups. I was always kind of the therapist, but the worst part is it's not about being the therapist part, it's that I wasn't able to make myself feel good, and I was trying to make the other people feel good. Like literally, if a person didn't vent to me, it made me feel bad, and at the same time if they did vent to me, it also made me feel bad at some subconscious level, and I was not realizing that. I was thinking, yeah, the more a person vents to me, the happier we'll both be, but that is not how it works. People being saying all these things to you, it's not impacting your mental health well. There is nothing wrong with going out with a friend and them expressing their problems to you, but you know, if all you do with your friend is just express negative feelings towards each other by saying all these things, that is not a good healthy relationship. A good healthy relationship is talking about the bad and the good, not only the bad or not only the good. So we need to realize this, because a lot of people are too focused on the bad or too focused on the good, and they cannot find the right balance. And this is why all my relationships were toxic. Every single friend or friend group that I have been in for a very long time used to dump their problems onto me. As to be the problem dumper though, the listener. And I still technically am, but right now I am in that state of mind where they can dump their problems on me and I will be able to deal with it, because personally I mastered this level of detachment where no matter what they say to me, it will not affect my life because I am too focused on myself. People will say this is a very selfish thing, and to some it probably is, but to me it's not, because I am focusing on myself. Just because I'm mastering that art of detachment does not mean that I cannot in the moment feel and express their feelings back towards them so they understand more about themselves. I am still fully able to support you if you are feeling bad in a situation, and I will not just throw you away for that. I will not just throw you away if you're going through a hard time. I will support you fully through that. But that does not mean that because I'm drained, I am still going to listen to you. Then I will inform you, I need that space right now. I need this space because I need to regenerate myself. And before I can't talk to you until my brain is fully regenerated and is rid of all my problems. And it's really important because you need to put yourself first, because if you don't start putting yourself first, you're going to be a people pleaser your whole life, and that is going to affect you to some level. See, it's okay to be emotional, and people don't understand that. You get made fun of for being a people pleaser and for being emotional, but then if you're not one, and if you're like me, people are starting to be like, whoa, you are way too cruel, you need to have some emotions. What people don't realize is that I have found my perfect balance, and you need to find what works for you. You need to start realizing, oh wait, maybe I want to spend time with myself. Maybe I don't want to talk to that person that is constantly dumping their problems onto me. It would be really hard, but cut off all those toxic relationships that you have with all those people and start making relationships where you can dump the problems on that person and they dump the problems on you, and you both find a good balance where you're not constantly doing it, but you can still support each other. You know what I mean? Because if you were constantly just existing as a people pleaser, that is really emotionally draining for our soul, for our mental health. It is just really emotionally draining, and that is not a good thing in the long run. You might not believe me, but literally the second I realized, no, this is not right. No, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm stopping. I'm gonna be emotional with myself, by myself, and not with other people. That's the second I realized I feel good within myself. You know, like I started being like, I like spending this alone time with myself without other people talking to me, because sometimes it's okay to be like this, but certain people get really emotionally drained for like a really short time. See, everybody's different. Some people are introverts, some are extroverted, but at some point we all have to take a break from other people, and we need to focus on ourselves, especially in certain parts of our lives. If we've suffered a loss of a family member or whatever it is, if we've suffered some sort of academic loss, or no matter what it is, sometimes we just need to take a break, pause, and realize that what we're doing is, if like what people are doing to us is affecting us. At some point you will find a really good balance with most of your friends where it's like they're not dumping their problems on you and you're not dumping their problems on them too much. It's like the perfect balance. But some people, this isn't going to work because they're looking for someone to dump their problems on. So you have to realize what type of person they are, and you have to realize this isn't good for me. No matter how hard it is to let go, you have to let go, because if you let people walk all over you your whole life, you're not going to make it. Especially if, pretend you're in school right now, and then when you leave school and you start working a job, people are going to walk all over you even more if they see that opportunity, especially as adults. But you have to realize you can't let that happen, because you have to stick up for yourself, because nobody else is going to do that for you. You need to realize that it's important to put yourself first. That is not being selfish. Putting yourself first is not being selfish. It's what everyone should be doing. Because if we all prioritized our mental health by ourselves, we would realize that it would be way funner and way better to socialize with people, because we would have less to vent on top of each other. It'd be more like, oh yeah, hi, and then we go straight into the fun stuff. We'd have, I don't know, stay in a cafe, go to a swimming pool, whatever it is that you do with your friends. Have more fun because there's less problem dumping. But at the same time, we need that problem dumping because we need that connection with the other person that is like an emotional connection towards them. You can still have that connection and master that art of detachment where you're still detached, but you have that connection. As long as you you can really love your friends, but you have to realize if they leave you, you're gonna be totally okay with it. There are so many friends that I've had for a really long time, especially in primary school, and then I realized this isn't for me anymore. And then I went to my other school, like this school that I'm in right now, and I realized, you know what? I'm taking a break. I do not want all this toxicity flowing into me and taking up my time. Why should I spend an hour or two calling somebody and they vent their problems to me and tell them their life stories, and I don't get to tell any of mine to them, when instead I could be doing what I want at that given moment? Obviously, logically, I'm going to choose what I want to be doing at that given moment. So please just stop with the people pleasing, because it is not healthy. You might think it is, but it really is not. Start you can still listen to people about your problems. You can still be really a really good listener, because it is really important to be a better listener and a better talker. But that does not mean that you have to constantly be dumped with problems, just dumped like other people dump their problems on you. You do not have to be that person in that friend group. And you have to realize that you have to find the right balance with all your friends and all your relationships, because if you don't, then you're just not going to get where you want to be mentally, because it's going to keep affecting you. Or if you have one of those toxic friends that is like that, dumping their problems on you, you're going to try to like continue on a path that they are not made for, and you're going to continue talking to them, but at the end of the day it's not going to work out, and it's going to cause you more problems. God is literally going to detach you from that person, even if it hurts your feelings. So you have to realize this. You have to realize, who are the people that are bringing no benefits into my life and that I'm just people pleasing with them? Once you realize who those people are, and if you think they can't be fixed, or like, just tell them, no, I'm sorry, I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. Please go find someone else to do this with. And then you will realize the people that are truly there and don't do that to you, that are truly value you, you know? Because people don't value you if they just dump your problems on you. They just think you're that person that, you know, they can handle anything, so let's just say all this to them. And then you realize, no, that's not how it works. Prioritize yourself first, okay? No matter what you do, always prioritize yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. This is a very interesting topic that I'm hoping to continue in another few of my videos. And yeah, see you all in the next one. Bye!